Hello and welcome back. Plain oxygen not included. In this episode, I'm going to be tapping into the hot water system. Hold on, I've got an egg here. Needs to be removed. Okay, so I'm going to be tapping into the hot water system, which is located over in this area, because I want that to feed this machine, the micro musher, as well as a supercomputer, but mostly this. This water's been drying up. Also need to find an alternate water source for my oxygen and build a second electrolyzer. And I want to get some sedimentary rock. That's what I'm going to feed to the hatches. Alright, let's get started on all of this then. So this is a room I created last episode. This allows me to process every single egg to apply the lullaby effect. This rancher is in here. Any new eggs are being dropped off by the dupes. Now I can remove this. I can switch to pip eggs. The nice thing about this is I can mark eggs here that I don't want to reprocess. So I'll remove this one as well. Mark that to be dropped over. Now I can go through all these eggs and find the ones that I want to process, or essentially don't have the lullaby effect. All I have to do is just make sure I turn this off, turn it on over here so the eggs get brought over. Now while that happens, I see mine are making progress over here. That's the hot water geyser. That's good. Now I can process some pip eggs. While that goes on, see my dupes are digging up there. I don't know if I've seen sedimentary rock yet. Have, so I'm going to tell my dupes, once you get access to that, that's going to be the food source for the hatches. Alright, what's going on over here? Just waiting a second for the machine to turn on, apparently. Okay, that is fine. I seem to still be able to do 2 per before I have to do a changeover to get rid of the eggs. Last episode as well, I had operator of the electrical engineering skill along with the power control station. They're upgrading both the hydrogen generator and one of the manual generators. And in fact, I don't even need the second one anymore. I'm just waiting for the electrolyzer, or the second electrolyzer, to be built so I can improve the oxygen situation. My health check at the end of last episode found that there's it's getting way too thin down here. I need a second one for sure. Cuddle pip, squeak. That is awesome. When they're an adult, they'll actually be able to cuddle with these eggs, increasing the rate that they're going to hatch. Just have Rancher coming back in here so that they can apply the lullaby effect on these eggs. I can see the second electrolyzer is now in operation. May take a little bit, but that's going to improve the oxygen in this area of the base. Very important. Also produce more hydrogen, which is a very nice thing because that is being consumed as power. Actually can turn this pump back on for a period of time. Eventually I'm going to have automation, so I don't have to remember to do this. But until then, I'll just come back and turn this on when I get a little buildup of hydrogen. Alright, I have a new pump. Because this water here was going to dry out, even decided to put a third electrolyzer over here just to provide oxygen in this area. Keep forgetting to remove that. I even set this up such that this is going to drain before that one. So a little bit more oxygen in this area so I can continue to explore over here and make progress to this geyser. Sometimes it's easier if you actually trap a dupe in an area. So right now miner can only stay in this area. So instead of going back and forth and doing things here, coming back, maybe I should even get everyone else to stay away. But that allows things. Oh, be careful though, miner. Very careful. I don't want to trap yourself. Now you have access to Grant. Yeah, I should have actually prevented everyone else from coming in. Because miner's now waiting for scientists to deliver something. So scientists, you should leave. You should get out of here. Miner will do the rest. So what I really want to do is just drain some of this water. this salt water, I should say. Just get it out of the way so we have room to deal with the hot water that I'm going to be using instead. Make sure that I don't go into miner's break. They're currently coming up to their break. So you know what? Sure, you can now leave. Until next cycle. I have a new hatchling. And time Rancher will bring it over here. So I'll get a total of 4 at that point. So miner's the only one in this area. See, all the others are looking for things to do, so I'll sort that out. Wouldn't mind turning this area here off. Or like cutting that up. It's almost full anyway. I don't know if there's a lot of point in that. But I have to do something with this excess carbon dioxide anyway, so why don't I just dig a spot down here anyways. I'll keep miner trapped over here so they can concentrate on building this. This is going to be a little ledge that hot water flows into. So what I want to do is be able to drop its temperature because it's going to be too hot to pump. And I want to pump that in. Now I could put a pitcher pump right here, but that's going to have to do some run back and forth all the time. So I want to pump this water over. I don't have a gold mag, so I need it to be less than 75 degrees. So that is what this bit here is. Now I've got that. Let's just mop up everything miner, shall we? Okay. Check to make sure that I'm not impinging on your schedule. Oh, I am. You know what? You can go. And we'll do this the next cycle. And it's the next cycle. Oh, I don't have obsidian ability. Oh, I do actually. I've got a bunch of skills to give out. Okay, let's think about the chef. Once I get the locavore achievement, I want to do some farming. So cooking chef will be pivoting to farming once the locavore achievement is earned. Operator, let's give you carrying, so you work your way towards Metatronics. Rancher, that's easy, critter ranching 2. And so miner, you did. Okay, you're close to upgrade. Everyone has an upgrade except for the one I want. Oh, just great. What can we do? Still dig out granite. We'll do what we can here. See if it's going to be enough. Oh, I want to be careful not to dig something that's going to dump this on me. But yeah, this may have to wait. It's not going to be too long. Eventually, miner will get this skill and we'll be able to get in there. I don't think this is going to work the way I want it to. No, you know what? I'm just going to abandon that. I'll come back when miner has the proper skill. So this is a critical job, almost out of... Okay, now I am out of water. Well, if that's the case, I can't produce any anything in the micro musher anymore. So I build this pump over here to dump water from over here so I can continue to use this while I'm building this system here to bring hot water over. And I should now start to see some water be dropped off. Yep, that's the case. That's good news. Rancher is in here. They gave a hug to Cuddle Pip. Now Cuddle Pip is hugging all the eggs. That is good news because that's going to allow those eggs to hatch just a little bit quicker. Pretty much just waiting for miner to upgrade, level up, please, if you don't mind. Just getting a little bit smart. Okay, been waiting for this. I can give miner the super duper hard digging skills. And let's dig out some hot water, shall we? Get them to dig out as much of this area as I can until it sort of goes off. And then it becomes too hot. And I'll just tell miner that's good enough. Definitely want to speed things up. Let's get miner in there. Drop them in there for the time being. And let's see how this goes down. Yeah, it's active. It's active, miner. You're gonna want to be careful. Okay, it's quiet for a moment. Dig, dig, dig. not absolutely essential to, you know what, that is enough. I don't want you to burn yourself, go away. That will fill it with water. You can leave and do stuff in the rest of the base. So it's going to fill with water, go up over here, and this temperature will start to drop. It's coming out at 95 degrees, already has dropped to 83. I need to get that down below 75. And then I'll create a pump somewhere along here to send it to a storage location. I even have an insulated pipe that I'm going to bring it over around. I'm going to get rid of this old pipe here. That's why I turned that off for a second, so I can turn this back on. And have insulated pipe to take this hot water that I'm going to be collecting right here. I want to store it at this location in a vacuum. So that's going to be stored here. It's going to be very hot. So hence why I'll want to create a vacuum, and I'll do that shortly. So I built this liquid reservoir to store hot water. I'm going to store that in a vacuum. It has airflow tiles underneath it. So once hot water is there, it won't be able to leave. I'll destroy it and I'll turn it into bottled water that my dupes will be able to put in here. Still 12,000 calories while I sort of go through this retrofit. Hopefully that will keep up. Let's see, where is the water? It's already on the way. It's 61 degrees. That pump is fine. If it would be over 75 degrees, it's not a good thing, but it's not the case. Since the power is having an issue, it's probably because that is in there. Rancher. Alright, looks like I need to find stuff for the dupes to do. So with this area here, I'm storing 5 tons, 58 degree water. I can destroy this liquid vent now. And that's going to create a bottle that the dupes can use to create food again. So I had to get some excellent food cut out so that this would work. There is my bottled water. Now I can run the micro mushroom once again. And while they're using that 5 tons of bottle that's sitting right there, I can build another one, load up more, so I can get double that. See, operators idle, so I'll figure out something for them to do. So here is the kitchen in full swing once again with this bottled water that's sitting here. I'm loading up more water for continued food production and starting the process of building a pump down here to deal with the carbon dioxide, excess carbon dioxide. I'm going to research a gas reservoir to store that in. So the second liquid reservoir has been filled up, 5 tons of hot water. The water bottle there is 1/5 the size it was before. It just shows how much water the friggin' micro musher uses. But it is really nice knowing that it is it's using hot water instead of the different water caches. So the water caches I have here and over here can be used for oxygen rather than food. Almost have a third liquid reservoir full. Let's have a look at the locavore achievement, because once that's in place, I can actually start planting stuff instead of turning water and dirt into food. Less than 50,000 calories. Okay, that is really nice to hear. Okay, so I've got a pump and a gas reservoir that's going to get the carbon dioxide to fall down. I'll be able to store that so I can send a rocket using carbon dioxide in the future. I see meat has been discovered. So there must have been one of the critters there. I first of all need to make sure I get a pip. The next pipsqueak anyway, so there's one there to be wrangled. So they'll be brought over. I'm going to tell the cooks that barbecue can now be cooked whenever you see it. So that's going to increase the amount of calories from 32,000. I think it's 32,000 to 4,000. Yep. Okay, found my first stone hatch. So make sure that goes through the incubator. Rancher, time for you to go in here. Excellent. Oh, apparently not. I guess that'll be later. So I want to separate electrical circuits here into 2. It's because I'm not getting enough power from just one transformer. So I'm going to actually change this circuit to work this way. Won't connect it just yet. Wait for this much to be built. I'll destroy this. So I'll essentially have one circuit that's going to serve up here and over here, and another circuit which will do down in this area. Let's give out some skills. Cook, you will have crop tending, and scientist, astronomy. We're going to look at the stars soon. Okay, with that little piece of wire, I'm now going to destroy this. Wait for that to be destroyed. Buy some dupe that might want to go into that area. And destroy that for me. Please, please, please. Maybe this cycle. Come on. Okay, so dupe has destroyed that, so now I can connect this. Now I've got two separate circuits. I can get 1,000 watts of power in each of them. Now connect this. Hold on, actually. So this is going to be a place to handle or process polluted water that has food poisoning in it. So it's going to turn polluted water to water. And in this area, I'm going to knock this out once this wall is created. And it's going to be a manual process in the fact that I'll have to take it in and out. I'll have an automated one in the future. But for now, just want a really simple system so I can create a washroom up here. I see a colony achievement has been earned. Is that the locavore? It is. Excellent. I can now plant things into planter boxes. Finally. So I'm going to start off with some simple meal wood. Do that in a few places. I'm sure the pips won't mind having that growing in their stable. So I have this vacuum area here created with this liquid reservoir. Also have this button switch at the door. Currently it's open, meaning that liquid's not going to be going out of here. So it's going to trap water to sit at this location until I know that the food poisoning that's in it has been removed. That means I can now have a washroom and upgrade some of these. So I now have a washroom. That means that the dupes don't have to clean their houses anymore. Polluted water is going through here, being filtered and stored at this location. And as that happens, food poisoning is being destroyed. Once this gets filled up, and maybe not filled up the full way, say 75%, I'll disable this. I'll let the water filter down in here by turning this off and turning it back on again. Turn this back on and essentially have a new wave. So I'm going to have to very much keep my eyes on this, but this is early part of the game. I don't mind doing that later on. That'd be quite annoying, but once I have more metal, I'll automate that. Right now, just getting an oxygen system that can provide oxygen to this enclosed telescope, so scientists can look at the stars. You can see oxygen making its way up to the enclosed telescope. Now I know if I'm going to allow this to be in operation all day long, scientist is going to get quite sick. So I'm going to tell scientists to only use it for a part of the day. Just working with Rancher, selectively going after the hatch eggs and all the variants. The idea is if I can fill the cages or the stables early enough, once the final set of hatches and the pips that are there are laying eggs, I will not have to put those eggs through the incubator to turn them into meat. They'll just naturally turn over time if I can do it early enough. And then I don't have to have anyone run this incubator anymore. So my goal is to fill both these stables with at least 7 each. That's going to be enough for at least 4 dupes. With the pips, that's going to be another 2 dupes. That's all 6 of my dupes are going to be able to eat meat. If I do that early enough, I won't have to have the incubator anymore just to make them hatch to get to cycle 100. And I'm getting close. Well, let's see. I'm got 3 there and 4 there, so I just want to get 7 in each, and then I don't need the incubator anymore. So it'll be quite exciting when I get to that point. So I've built a fridge. I've noticed I've got 30,000 calories of food. Let's store certainly barbecue meat there, lettuce if we have any, mush fry, omelets if we have any, and meal lice. It's going to slow the production of it, slow the process of it going bad. It's going to help if I have a little bit of carbon dioxide. That's why I built it in this little funny spot that dips down here. So if I got some carbon dioxide around, I do, that will actually increase the amount of time that food can be stored. Also, and this may be the last piece that I do for this particular episode, I've got a bottle emptier here. This is going to be for polluted water. I'll have this stored and brought in to the system so I can turn all the polluted water that has been accumulating into this location to be processed and brought back into the system as regular water. Alright, just saw another stone hatch, so time to wrangle them. So I see carbon dioxide is making its way up here. Currently, if I look at the food, it is now creating a sterile environment for it, so I'm not losing any change to food going bad. From that, it's in the refrigerated state, only losing 3% per cycle overall. So that is much better. I don't need this anymore. I can get rid of that. And over here, I have my spot where I can put polluted water. So all the polluted water that's been accumulating over here can go in here. I can filter it and get it back as water into the system. And we'll just watch and see. Oh, I see scientist. You must have been up in space. Have you made any progress yet? Looking for things. So one of the things, yeah, two tiles so far. So I know this is actually one of the asteroids because I played in this space before. This is where I want to go sooner than I did last time to get some metal. I want to do that actually before I look for do the research for solar panels. But I'm also going to have to be careful not sending dupes away when they can be eating meat, so I'll have to balance that. But compared to last time, I don't have any dupes on the manual generator. That is really good. Kind of using the incubator the same amount of time. However, that's going to change the moment these get filled. I'm just going to leave them and let their eggs naturally do their thing. This is an interesting setup. Basically, I've never done this before in any playthrough. I'm creating a liquid reservoir and filling it up with hot water. So it's right now, I guess, going to be 65 degree temperature water. But if I look at the temperature around here, it's not leaking because it's in a vacuum, and I'm able to turn that into food. And my food, especially since the locavore achievement is now complete, that has been growing quite a bit. So I've got mush bar, mesh fry, meal lice, and even a fridge to store all of that. I might even tell my dupes, you know what, I think we can stop producing food for a little bit. I'll watch this, and if that goes down, I'll turn that back on. Before I finish, let's do a health check. Oxygen is looking much better. I might actually, before I forget, just throw a deodorizer in here and here. Power, I've got I have 3 circuits. The heavy watt wire, which is generating, and that entirely runs just on the hydrogen generator with a tune-up, so that's really nice. In fact, a lot of hydrogen is building up. So that is a very big difference from the last playthrough. I was still relying somewhat on the manual generator, not at all. Last many cycles, no one has been using that, so that is really cool. The fact that I'm using this as my food source means that this is burning really slowly, because this is just used for oxygen. I'll switch over here, or maybe I'll just dig this out and have it drain down. So that is a big change. Quite happy about that. And gases, I have carbon dioxide. I've push that in here for a rocket in the future. So that opens up more oxygen so the dupes can get down here. That's a good thing. I've got oxygen line going up into this enclosed telescope, and scientists will start to operate that. I told scientists only to operate it certain points of the day because they are very susceptible to radiation poisoning. Let's see, it's not going to be a very attractive base, but I'll deal with that in time. Let's look for diseases. A little bit of food poisoning over here, but once I get rid of that, actually it's not just that, I also want to get rid of the dirty, not dirty, what do you call it, polluted dirt. Store that here, and I'll put that in a deodorizer right in front of it, just so that the dupes don't have to use that or see that go next to that when they're going in the washroom. Now it is. Let's just double check that it. Okay, so now that I've got that set, before I forget, it's going to be organic rock pile. If there are any polluted dirt stored here, I'll even put that as a high priority task. Let's just check the rooms. Excuse me, a little bit of a voice thing going on with the cold, but anyway, nature reserve, great hall, washrooms. This is new. This particular episode, barracks, and just making sure I still have my power plant, which has been serving me very well. Just making sure all the other stables are still stables. They are. So I think that will do. A lot was done in this episode compared to what I would have done the last playthrough, where the dupes were spending far too much time on the manual generator. Still using the incubator, but I think in the next episode I'll stop using that and I'll just rely on the critters that I have and allowing the eggs to naturally hatch to get my carnivore achievements. Alright, till then, Jared signing out.